He's still emotionally attached. He wants ego validation. He's lonely. He feels guilty. He wants to get closure. He has personal issues he's working through. He's trying to stop you moving on. He's trying to put you in the friend zone, or worse, he's trying to put you in the casual zone. Welcome to the video. If you've been here before, welcome back. Today, we're talking about 9 reasons. 9. Your ex still texts you even when he says he can't be with you. Number 1 is he's still emotionally attached to you. This will be obvious if you broke up with him and he is the more anxious-leaning person in the relationship. The slightly more confusing one is where he broke up with you and he says, no, I can't be with you, which is most likely your situation, but he's still reaching out. He's still saying hi. He's still saying good morning. Oh, infuriating. There is a possibility that he is still quite or perhaps very emotionally attached to you. Now, the tricky part is telling it apart from some of the other reasons on this list. So I'm going to explain a few clues and how you can do that. One big thing to look for with this is he does it over and over again. He doesn't see it. He's persistent with it. He's keeping it up. It's not an infrequent thing. If he keeps doing it, even though he says he can't be with you, strong chance there is still some emotional attachment there. Now, what you do about that is the next question, maybe not one for this video. Just because there's emotional attachment there doesn't mean he's going to fully act on it. And that's where you as a woman can get really stuck because you think, oh, there's still emotional attachment here. He still wants to get me back. Is he going to act on it though? You have to kind of tell him to shit or get off the pot, and you can't let him stay in that zone of gray because he will drag you along with you thinking he's emotionally attached, which maybe he is, but he doesn't necessarily want to act on that attachment to fully get back together. Number 2 is ego validation. This is a bit of a nasty one, but sometimes exes, after they've broke up with you, they just still like having the ego of knowing that you're responding to them, that you want them. If it was a nasty breakup, if things got really bad, if things led to resentment or contemptuousness in the relationship, it may be that he just kind of wants to win and just still wants you thinking about him, in which case the block button might be your best friend. Third possibility is he's lonely. This can be a bit blurry with number 1. Men, especially after that initial phase of freedom, will get lonely during a breakup. Sometimes they'll seek validation in friends or other connections. Sometimes they'll look for new women, and sometimes they'll come back to you in lonely moments. So unfortunately, it is possible he's texting you just because he's lonely. If you are receiving that, it's more likely that it's a little less frequent than the emotionally attached version that I spoke about earlier. Number 4 is he feels guilty. And this goes a little bit with the one we're going to talk about later, which is he wants to be friends. Often when a man breaks up with you, this is not really where you want to be, but it is certainly possible that if he breaks up with you and is seeing you as kind of a damsel in distress, he will try through his guilt to help you through his breakup with you. It's absurd. It's like the person that did the damaging is trying to heal the damaging, but at the same time pulling away, doing re-damaging. It's almost like putting a bandage on that's like got acid on it or something. It's not helpful. Anyway, so if a guy is feeling guilty, you will often see him reach out and you'll get a very caring tone. I'm just checking in on you. Oh, how are you? Are you okay? It's like, dude, leave me alone. Stop contacting me from your guilt. But yes, he will do that. 5th is closure. So if the relationship ended in kind of a weird way where both of you, or at least one of you, didn't get closure, he could be reaching out for that reason. Sometimes if things end very suddenly, if there was no final conversation, if it wasn't really made clear what was going on, a man could be reaching out to you for closure. You'll hear things like, oh, we should just chat one more time, one last conversation. Let's at least head out together so that we can put a ribbon on it. Stuff like that will give you clues that he might be reaching out to you for closure. 6 is an interesting one. He might be going through personal issues. I'll tell you what, there's nothing worse than going through a breakup as a man, making a tough decision, letting go of a woman maybe you care about but you know isn't right for you, and then some shit hits you, because the number 1 girlfriend, boyfriend benefit that a woman brings to our lives is her support and her companionship, her belief in us. Those 3 things are massive. And so when you let go of a woman and then, for example, you lose your job or your aunt dies, often you'll know why, because he'll literally tell you that something has happened. And your compassionate side will want to reach out to him and give him a hug and be supportive and be that companion, especially if you're missing him. You want to show how good of a girlfriend you are. It's really tempting to fall back and be his emotional caretaker. It's kind of the opposite to the one I spoke about earlier where he feels guilty. Well, now something's happened to him and you feel guilty for not being there, but he broke up with you, so he doesn't really get that boyfriend benefit anymore. Number 7 is the other nasty one, is he's stopping you from moving on. A lot of insecure men will feel that their woman is leaving them energetically. Okay, the breakup happens, but she still wants him at that point. But after a certain time, There's something in the universe, there's something in the energy that he can feel she's actually moving on. And then bam, that's when you hear from him. It's usually not consciously manipulative. He's not literally thinking, I need to stop her meeting other men. Sometimes he is, but that would be rare and very sociopathic. More often than not, it's a subconscious reflex to say, oh, the energy's leaving. I miss that feeling. I now have this impulse just to text her for no other reason. So again, it's a bit of a nasty one. Make sure you don't get dragged into it, and make sure you set good boundaries with this, because if you are moving on energetically, this is like the universe test. This is like the final boss in the breakup, is your energy is finally peeling off him, and the universe throws you one last challenge and says, are you sure? I'm going to drag you back in with one last hurrah. And if you survive that, usually you're free of the energetic bond of him. So be careful of the guy that tries to drag you back in. Number 8 is he's trying to put you in the friend zone. This is also a combination of, well, I don't want to miss her. I don't want her moving on. I don't want to lose like some of the emotional attachment there. So it's a bit of a combination of the others, but don't put yourself in the friend zone. It's just accepting crumbs. Any of this BS about we should be friends, I don't want to break up with you all the way, I still want you in my life. No, thank you. No, thank you. You can do that after 6 or 12 months of no contact. Sure, if you want to do that after 6 to 12 months, no contact, that's great. Good for you. Not straight. Number 9 is he's trying to put you in the casual zone. There is always a risk that your ex will try to downgrade from the girlfriend package back to the casual package. I strongly recommend not taking that downgrade. I don't think I've ever met any women who enjoy that downgrade. I think that's enough said on that. 9 reasons why your ex still texts you even when he says he can't be with you. Have you experienced some of these? Let me know in the comments section below. Otherwise, hit the subscribe button with the little bell. And if you want to work with me one-on-one to get your ex back, to work on your relationships, to find an amazing guy, I've got a no man, no fee guarantee. You can hit the link in the description to book a call. Hit the thumbs up button, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.